Good morning, everyone. This is your second class. This batch started yesterday. Which batch is this? RB 8 plus 6. 6 वाले तो हो चुकी है, I guess, classes, है ना? Okay, okay. So this is how to read newspaper class. So everyone started reading newspaper? No? Have you ever read newspaper? Which one? The Hindu, the Indian Express. Earlier also you were reading these newspapers. Anyone Times of India, Hindustan Times? So what you were reading in that newspaper? Entertainment? Editorial? So editorial in like Indian Express and The Hindu. You were reading. I'm not asking to whom who were reading Indian Express and The Hindu. I'm asking to whom who were reading Times of India, Hindustan Times. Sports? Nahi? And entertainment? Photographs? So that time, why we were reading these kind of stuffs? And why we are more concerned about good news, good information from the newspaper? Because we are here to prepare UPSC. So for that, we need to have some current affairs. So why we are reading newspaper for UPSC preparation? To get selected. Yes, yes. So that is why you came here, to get selected, to get rank. So why reading newspaper is important? So first part is this. Ki why reading newspaper is important? Then we can go for how. How we can read newspaper. So why reading newspaper is important? The first and foremost thing, getting current affairs. Why current affairs? Because current affairs is coming in the prelims examination and also mains examination. Mains mein how they are asking current affairs? Issue based questions. Burning issues. Okay. Anywhere is it it is written in syllabus that we need to read current affairs? No? Nowhere? Prelims ka syllabus everyone has seen? The first pointer, what is written there? Current events of national and international importance. So first line is about current affairs in prelim syllabus. And anywhere is it written in mains that we need to read current affairs? Nahi? No? So we need to check for the syllabus first. Ki what is there in the syllabus in prelims and what is the syllabus in the mains. Every day, like for these 1 month, we need to check for every day ki what is there in the syllabus. And how we can get this idea? Every day you need to read newspaper. So reading newspaper is important. Every day we must read newspaper. Why? Because it is current affairs is there in the newspapers, and current affairs are being asked in UPSC paper. But current affairs we can get from monthly current affairs magazines also. So if current affairs is there in the magazines, why we need to read newspaper? To write answers for essay writing. How it can help? You can use data from data in answer writing. Data you can get from monthly current affairs magazines also. And what you said? Different type of contents we get from the newspaper. And the important contents, They are compiled in the monthly current affairs magazines. So everything is there in the current affairs magazines. So why we need to go for reading newspaper? For the comprehensions. So CSAT, RC. So how we are comprehending things, if we are reading any article, how we can summarize, how we can get idea in 3-4 pointers. That means every day we are doing practice for RC. That is also important thing. What else? Repetitive news. So repetitive news is coming in the newspaper. How it can help? Day by day revision can go on. In repetitive, so we'll see what kind of articles we can skip from the newspaper. The idea is good. What is happening? Every day we are reading newspaper. How many pages are there in newspaper? Like Indian Express, The Hindu, mein how many pages are there? Or if I ask how many articles which are important for UPSC point of view, how many articles you get it is important for UPSC? Depending upon the topics. Like someday it may happen ki 10 topics are important. Someday it may happen ki only 5 topics are important. And these days what is happening? Election is going on. So very few articles we can see it is important for UPSC. So we can see ki, but still we can see ki 5 to 6 page, 7 to 10 page, we are reading from the newspaper every day. In magazines what happens? 100-page magazine for 30 days. So for every day, like 3-page information we are getting from the magazine, and from newspaper we are getting 10-page information. So we are getting comprehensive coverage in the newspaper. So we'll get more idea, and they try to explain things in detailed manner. We get case studies also, we get different examples also. And what happens after completion of 1 month's newspaper? Basically we are revising things from current affairs magazines. That's it. So apart from that, basic idea of reading newspaper is developing understanding about what is happening around us. The basic idea is this, and these newspaper are published for masses. These are not focused on UPSC aspirants. These are published for masses. So we need to see what is important for us. What UPSC can ask, that is important for us. If we are reading all the news articles, it is going to kill our most of the time. Like we can devote 4 to 5 hours to complete that newspaper. But utna time to hai nahi apne paas. We don't have that time. So if anyone has started reading newspaper, what time you are devoting for completing 1 day's newspaper? Anyone? 1 hour? Everyone? 3 hours? So yes, initially it may take 2 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Why it is taking so much time? Because we don't know what to read, how to read, what to leave. Initially what happens, every news article, it seems the question can be framed by UPSC. If I miss this article, it may happen that from this article only UPSC is framing question. So we read most of the articles. So how we can filter on this? How we can put filter on this? So that we can skip least important, less important articles, and we can read only most important or important articles. How we can get this idea? So we have only 2 things. Syllabus, what you just said, syllabus and previous year question papers. So only these 2 things from which we can have some idea ki what we can read, what we can skip. After then, if we are reading some article, to what extent we need to read? What kind of information we can fetch from that article which can be important for UPSC exam? That is also important. This the next step. How we can get that? Mostly this idea we get from previous year questions. If we see previous year questions, we'll get this idea ki how UPSC is asking questions, how UPSC is framing statements, what kind of information UPSC is trying to ask from us. So for that, we need to go for previous year question section wise. Like science and tech mein, how UPSC is framing statements, what kind of information they are asking. So we'll see one by one. I have one PPT to show you that how UPSC is asking questions from current affairs from different topics, what kind of statements they are asking. So if we will not go for answers, we'll just see how the statements are framed. And before that, like UPSC preparation, you have just started. So what do you think? Ki how you can change your strategy? Everyone is graduate here? Graduation completed? No? You are in graduation. Okay. So what you were doing in graduation exams? What was your strategy? What? To write the maximum pages. Like that is the strategy for the examination hall. Like you are going to the examination hall, there we are having this strategy, we need to fill all the pages, write anything. But before that, what was the strategy? One night before the exam, we were just reading things and we were trying to remember things and then exam with distinction. But the same strategy we cannot follow here. Why there is a difference? Like graduation exams mein what happened, if we get last 5 years 10 years ka paper, the questions are going to come from those papers only, exactly those questions. And what we were doing, seniors ke notes, then we were just reading and remembering, and some chits hota tha nahi. Now new technology, Bluetooth and everything. So we were just appearing for the examination with this strategy only. If we are going for the UPSC exam with the same strategy, we are going to fail. I can quote one experiment by Narayan Murthy. Narayan Murthy, everyone has Infosys, founder, chairman, director, everything. So what he did one experiment on engineering graduates. He took a sample across the India. One paper was set. In that paper, the average score was 95 by 100. In that paper, the questions were from their notes, what faculty has discussed in the classes, same questions they have put in that paper. This was the average score. Another set of paper was formed. In that, questions were of applied nature. So that was based on the learnings they had in their classrooms. There the average score was this, 3 by 100. So if we are going with the same strategy, we'll be getting this way marks. And we cannot qualify this UPSC prelims, means we cannot qualify. So for that, we need to do some extra effort, not just reading and remembering. Why I'm saying this is important? Because if you see UPSC questions, previous year questions, if you take, you will see that every year the new questions are asked. Syllabus is same, topics are same, but every year UPSC is framing new questions. So for that, we need to have a good understanding about the subject. We need to have a good analysis. Then we need to have evaluation also. What does this evaluation means? If you are reading about something, you can get this, what are the pros, what are the cons. Then you can develop your own understanding also. depending upon the information you receive from different sources. In UPSC papers means mein you can see the questions are coming this way. Do you agree with the statement? So here your evaluation is required. So evaluation ke baad we also do our own creation. What is our own creation? If you are writing means answers, basically that is our own creation based on these things. So we need to go ahead from this reading and remembering things. So now the process is difficult here. But every year people are qualifying. People are qualifying means they are getting rank. So it is achievable if you go with the right strategy throughout the year. What happens ki we start with the strategy, but in between something happens and we deviate. That is what is happening with most of the students. Tabhi only 1000 are getting selected. What may, every year 1000 students will get selected. So for that selection, we need to have a proper strategy. Whatever we are reading, whatever we are studying, whatever we are analyzing, that all those things must be related, must be oriented towards UPSC exam. What UPSC can ask. So everyone say that this is unpredictable public service commission. But what happens if you see the previous year papers, you will get this idea ki how UPSC is framing the questions. And you may come across this thing also, like toppers, like those who have got rank, like 400 rank, 300 rank, this way. And every year they are appearing just with 1 month preparation. They are clearing prelims means every year. How? Why? What is happening with them? So they know ki what is the demand of UPSC, and they are orienting their preparation towards this UPSC's demand. What happens ki if you go through test series, UPSC के लिए like now we can see कि mains में and prelims में like one question or two question they are repeating, but still they are exhausting with the questions. Every year just one paper for prelims. But what happens with the prelims test series which are being conducted by different coaching institutes? Every year how many tests? Like 35 tests, 40 tests, 50 tests, this way. So every year they are making so many tests. That means so many questions. Every year they are making 5,000 new questions. उनका exhaust नहीं हो रहा है question coaching institutes का. So what happens if we appear for test series, we reorient our preparation towards test series, the way they are framing questions. We need to refrain from them, from that thing. We need to every time orient our preparation towards UPSC previous year question. What happens, you will see ki test series mein what is happening ki very specific, very technical terms they are asking, very deep thing they are asking. That is not the demand of UPSC. So if 100 questions are there in a test series, you might come across this thing, only 20-30 questions which are, we can say ki related with UPSC exam, which can come, for which there is a possibility ki these questions can come in the paper. Like you are getting 50 marks, so you will think here, these topics they have asked, very deep understanding is required for these topics. So you start reading those topics, but that is not required. So your preparation is away from UPSC's demand. So these things are very important, and you will understand with doing and learning only. Okay. Yearly PT 365 or means 365 versus monthly magazine versus weekly daily focus. I will discuss these things. Don't worry. So what happens? Pehle we are studying ki why this is important. So what are different topics, subjects from where current affairs ke questions are asked? If I ask prelims, What do you think? Current affairs, prelims, environment. Environment से आता है current affairs से? What kind of questions? Species, diversity, hotspots, Ramsar conventions. So mapping is also there. Then what else? Internal security से what kind of prelims के questions are asked? Tribal issues, that is, we can say ki part of society. So IR से they are asking questions. Science and tech. What else? Economics. What else? Polity से. What kind of question they are asking from polity? Current affairs. Recent amendment, constitutional developments, new policies. What else? Which? Art and culture. Art and culture say what current affairs they are asking? So something is in the news related to art and culture, they can ask questions. What else? Geography. Geography say what they can ask in current affairs? Mapping. Mapping they can ask. What else? Geography. History. Someone is saying history. What can be the current affairs in history? History is history that has happened. So we can say ki yes, it is part of this. What else? Polity. Do we have any other subject? So polity, economics, environment, modern Indian history, personality. Like, so, okay, they can ask about personalities also. So personalities, so they have done something in history, that is part of history. So history may we can say this way. Or if prime minister or president is visiting some places and that place is having some historical importance, that can be asked. What else? I think this is the set. Sorry. Themes. What kind of themes? G20. So IR may it will come. Different groupings. Groupings may it will come. International organizations. Global groupings. These will come in IR. IR may they can ask also mapping thing. Mapping also they can ask. Economy may what kind of question they can ask? Policies. Projects. Projects like financial inclusion. Agriculture say related they can ask questions. Yes. So these are basically the set of the topics from which we can get questions from current affairs. So whenever we are reading newspaper, we need to see this way. Okay, this topic is related to environment, this topic is related to IR, this topic is related to science and tech, environment, economy, polity, art and culture. This way we can see whatever the topics which are coming in the newspaper, we'll read them. This way only we are going to decide. And means me, these topics are basically parts of means also, main syllabus. So GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. So what is the relevance of it? Means me. I am asking कि paper 4 में how it is relevant. We can quote examples, some case studies. If we are having, we can quote those examples. Paper 1 में, GS paper 1, GS paper 1 का part is history, geography, art and culture also, society also. So these are listed. Society say what kind of question they can ask in prelims? Tribals. So schemes के बारे में भी they can ask. Judgment can come in polity. Polity paper 2 में what happens कि social justice is a part of syllabus. There also these things can come, where we can quote different judgments, different articles we can quote there. Paper 3, paper 2 तो like polity, governance, social justice, and we have IR. Paper 3 में environment is part of it, economy is part of it, then we have science and tech, then we have disaster management, internal security, mainly current affairs. So what we can have this thing ki paper 3 250 marks completely from current affairs. Paper 2 maybe we can say mostly it is current affairs. So if we see the weightage of current affairs in mains, we can say ki around 600 to 700 marks we can say it is coming from current affairs. Paper 1 may be current affairs we can trace. Current affairs, society say something is coming, COVID conditions say, we'll see the questions also. Ki we can say ki 40-50 marks from paper 1 is current affairs only. Paper 2 and paper 3 mainly current affairs. Paper 4 may some part we can use which we can write in answers. Answers may we can utilize what we have read from current affairs. Some good examples we can quote there. So this is basically prelims and mains mein current affairs ka relevant. Prelims mein how many questions are coming from current affairs? So that varies. Like we can say 15 to 30. This way it varies. 15 to 30 questions. 2016 I guess the most questions from current affairs were asked by UPSC, more than 30, around 35 questions from current affairs. And mostly the questions were from our current affairs magazine. But after that, UPSC knew. So what UPSC is doing nowadays, before the examination, they call out all the papers, all the current affairs magazines. And they put the questions this way, no question is coming from these sources. So what UPSC is requiring from us to develop understanding. Develop understanding. Rote learning की नहीं जाना है. We need to develop our understanding, thinking skill, critical understanding. Now we'll try to see some questions. The questions which are asked from current affairs in recent years, and we can see traces also ki how it was in the news and how UPSC has framed different statements. See this question. This is related to Web 3.0. And this is the question of 22. 22 May, this topic was repeatedly coming in the newspapers. More than 10 to 15 articles we can see in 22K newspapers. What kind of statements they have asked? Ki this technology, what is it about? So basically, what is this technology? Then it is based on what thing? This what ko 2 statements mein they have written ki what is this technology? Then what are their practical application? Second thing. So whenever we read about any technology, the first question is कि what is the science behind it, what is this technology. Then if there is some background, what is that background. Then we have if there is some practical application. So these 3-4 questions ka answer we need to know whenever we are reading any article which is related to science and tech. These questions ka answer we need to know. And sometimes we may come across this thing ki we are getting answer of 2 questions. One question ka answer is missing in that article. So if we read several articles, we can get the question of all these 3-4 questions. So this way only UPSC is asking questions. So we can come across many technologies in the newspaper. So all those technologies are important. Is that so? So what kind of news which is related to science and tech which we can skip? The idea is this only, practical application. If any technology which is having some practical application. Practical application, what does it mean? Sorry? Yes, correct. Can be used to increase the quality of the life of the people. So basically any technology which can create, which can make changes in the society. That technology is having some practical application. So those technologies, say related news we can read from the article, from the newspaper. And sometimes you may come across the kind of news articles ki one university from USA, some students, some researchers, they came out with a study. They conducted a study on a sample of 10 students, 10 people. And they found out that if they read more than 10 hours, they can develop cancer. This way one finding can come out in the newspaper. So these news articles we can skip. Why? Because there is no practical application. So cancer का क्या है कि if sometimes we are facing some difficulty health related and we Google it, the first question which Google provides us, you might be having cancer. You must visit your nearest doctor. So we need to avoid these kind of small scale studies, very less sample size, which can, the findings cannot be replicated for the entire population. So these small scale studies, key findings we can skip. We can skip these types of articles. We'll try to see some more questions. Like this way, it was there in the news. There were more articles related to this Web 3.0 and UPSC asked this question. See this? The third thing, if we are reading any technology related news, what UPSC does every year, UPSC asks about some keywords. If a new keyword is coined, UPSC can simply ask you what is the meaning of this keyword. What is the meaning of this keyword? Qubit. Which one of the following is the context in which the term qubit is mentioned? This year also qubit pe they can ask questions. Like advantage pe they can ask questions. Means mein supercomputers pe they can ask. They have asked questions. So qubit pe they can ask questions. This year in mains. In prelims also they can ask some question. Because this technology is in the news frequently. So anytime if we are coming across some new keyword, we'll mark them that can come in the UPSC paper. So basically we can make a list of 20-30 keywords in coming 1 year. And we may assume, we may think UPSC can ask 2-3 keywords ke bare mein questions. We can mark them correct. This qubit was also in the news. And this year also, every month you can come across this qubit wala news. 1 month mein one news is related to qubit, and 1 month mein 3-4 news articles related to AI this year. Chat GPT, so they can ask questions. Chat GPT, AI. See this? Consider the following statements in respect of probiotics. So, probiotics are made of both bacteria and yeast. The organisms in the probiotics are found in foods we ingest, but they do not naturally occur in our gut. Probiotics help in the digestion of the milk sugars. The same thing. What are probiotics? Where they are found? What are the practical application of it? Basically, they are asking, they are sticking to their demand, what they are demanding from us. So these 3-4 questions ke answer we need to know. Then see this keywords. Biorock technology is talked about in which one of the following situations? Another new keyword. So if we list 22 may, we'll get a listing of around 25 to 30 keywords. And they ask 3 questions on the keywords only. Every year they ask questions on keywords. Okay, this keyword was in the news. This is related to what? This is the question. See this Miyawaki method. Again a new keyword. And what happened with this news? That year, this Miyawaki method was coming in the newspaper, but it was coming mostly in the city news articles. Because many NGOs, they were using this Miyawaki method in different cities, urban centers. But this keyword, this question came in UPSC. What we do, ki city news, we skip. Mostly skip karna hi chahiye. Because of this one question, we cannot, like every day we are reading city news. City news may we'll just go through, we'll see ki, are there any important thing which can come in UPSC examination, we'll read that, otherwise we'll skip. See this question. Questions related to international organizations, global groupings. UPSC is asking every year. So what happens if newspaper may something is coming related to global bodies, or international institutions? Those articles become important. Like a listing of this is here. We have like World Bank, then we have Asian Development Bank, we have IMF, we have WTO, then we have what else? यहाँ पे 4 तो हैं, Asian Development Bank, IMF, UNEP, then World Bank, then we have WTO. So we need to read about the current developments of these international organizations. What can be different to global bodies, global groupings? Like G20, G7, BRICS, then Quad, and so many global groupings. So these global groupings, international organizations, if they come in the newspaper, we need to read about them. Ki what they are doing. If some news is coming, like IR wale syllabus mein, IR wale classes mein, we are going to read about ki what are different functions, how they operate, what are their functions, what are pros, what are cons, what are the current standing. These things we are going to study in classroom. This is basically static part, But current में what they can ask? Different developments. कि currently they are doing something in Africa. Currently India is having some concerns about WTO. IMF is saying something about some country. So they have come up with some mechanism in some country. So these news articles become important. We need to read about them. Like this. Technical level discussions with Sri Lanka will continue, IMF. So this news article, we may think ki this they are doing something about Sri Lanka. So how it is important for UPSC? If you see the syllabus of IR, what is there? Ki something which is in India's interest, then only that topic becomes important. But here, Sri Lanka is neighboring country. So what is happening with Sri Lanka, that is connected with India also. But why this news article is important? Because IMF is doing something. So we'll read that article, we'll see if some current developments, if they are coming up with some different new mechanisms, we need to read about them. See this? G20 common framework. Global grouping G20. So there is a G20 common framework. We need to read about this article. Global grouping से related some news is coming. We'll read them. And one more thing, like global groupings, international organizations, usme what kind of question they can ask? Like India is member of this or not? The first question, first and foremost question. Then we'll try to see what are their mandate. Then third question, what are their like lacunas, what challenges they face. Then we'll try to see what are different current developments. 4 part में any global groupings, international organizations को हमें पढ़ना है. 4 questions, and these 4 questions के answer UPSC is demanding from us. Like this way, India is a member of which of the above? So whenever we are reading about any organization, any grouping, the first question will ask India is member or not. Sometimes we may come across this thing that this information is not given in the news article. Why? Because the day before yesterday, last week, they have given that information. So sometimes that news in like transition, so they miss those informations. NFTs. Again, 3 statement. They enable this digital representation. They are unique cryptographic tokens and they can be traded or exchanged at equivalency and therefore can be used as a medium of commercial transaction. Practical application bata diya how they can be used. Again, same 3 set of questions ke answer UPSC is demanding from us. NFTs. So I have not like listed all the news articles, but all these questions are related to that year's newspaper only. Newspaper mein all these articles have come. Polity mein how questions can be framed? Recently in news. So what they can do? So anti-defection is in the news like last year, this year, from last so many years, this is in the news. But that year UPSC thought, okay, we'll ask question from anti-defection. So they asked, so polity say if something is in the news, what they do, they ask questions related to static part of that news. So this is basically static part say they have asked questions. What is this anti-defection law? Then see this scheme say every year UPSC is asking questions, 2 questions from schemes. At least 2 questions from schemes every year. This is the trend of UPSC. So that is why I'm saying that this is not unpredictable public service commission. We can predict what kind of question they can ask. Schemes, how many schemes are there in India? Anyone? How many schemes are there? Like More than 500 schemes we have in India. There are several state schemes also. So more than 500 schemes are there. And reading about all these 500 schemes is not possible. So what we can do? So first we need to check what kind of questions they are asking. Basically, they are asking questions about, we can make a list. We can make a list. All central schemes, no schemes which are related to states, they are asking in prelims. State schemes, you can quote in your mains answers. But UPSC is not asking questions from states schemes. What kind of information they ask? Ki nodal agency, which ministry, which department is overlooking this scheme. Then what are different eligibility criteria? Or we can say target population. Then they are asking about features. So they will ask about some features. Ki, is this the feature of the scheme or not? They will provide one statement. We need to mark it correct or incorrect. Then after the features, we need to see the positives and the negatives of the scheme, challenges, and what are different positive things. Positive things are basically features may, mostly the positive things are there. Then if negatives are there, then what can be the way forward? So this makes complete thing about schemes. These only 5-6 things we need to read about schemes. What happens? Ki before the examination, we also provide a document which is like more than 200 pages. And in that document, we are having like more than 200 schemes. So if you are reading those schemes from that document, if question is coming in the examination, galati hoga wo. So what we can do, like society, we are classes mein society is going on. So we have like population related problem, tribal related problem, women related issues, health related issue, education related issues. So in that only we need to read about the different schemes. What are different schemes which is run by the government for these problems. If we know the problems, these problems will come into the features of these schemes. We can relate things and we can remember well. So this way we can read about different schemes. ऐसे अलग से silos में we cannot read about schemes. We can forget things. This year also, like last year, 23 May, 2 questions were there from schemes. Anyone can remember that those questions? Like one is Anemia Mukta Bharat, another is Janani Suraksha Yojana. So 2 questions again. Last year, last, every year we can see कि 2 questions are asked from schemes. So if we are reading very well about flagship schemes, we can mark them correct. And what kind of information we can fetch from those schemes document? These things. What are different features? Which is the nodal agency? What is the eligibility criteria? This way. And this is basically pre-wala part till features. If we club it with the challenges and way forwards, it will become mains ka part. So this way we can read about schemes, and schemes ke bare mein newspaper mein bhi we can see articles. If we are reading any article about some schemes and that scheme is coming frequently in the newspaper, that becomes important for that year's UPSC exam. What kind of information we'll try to get from the newspaper article? These things. These things. Correct? Then this way, the term Levant, often heard in the news, roughly corresponds to which of the following regions? So ISIL was in the news. So this is whenever we are reading world affairs, international affairs. So we need to locate things over map. So whenever we are reading international affairs, every time, whatever the information we are getting, that information is not very important for prelims point of view, but mapping is very important. So Levant, ISIL. So ISIS slash ISIL karke, many times we have seen in the newspaper articles. But sometimes only that abbreviation was having full form of it. तो जिसने full form पढ़ा था उसने मार दिया, जिसने नहीं पढ़ा था उसका हो गया गलत. See this? How we can expect questions. Like this is the question of 22. 22 में what happened? कि US forces they withdraw from Afghanistan. It was in the news frequently. So UPSC asked one question, कि which of the above have borders with Afghanistan? The same way, next year, like 23 May, Russia-Ukraine war, one question was asked about neighboring countries. So we can expect, so this year what we can expect? What is happening around the world? Israel-Palestine. So we can have one question, yes? There also, Taiwan. So they can ask about geography, mapping. So we can guess key question can be framed this year also on this topic. Then see this, again, the same. So what they have given, country and important reasons for being in the news recently. So these news articles we come across in the newspaper, what is happening in this country. So if we are having some rough idea also, we can mark it. Otherwise, we can leave because of this. Elimination technique got eliminated. Again this way. See this. The world's second tallest statue. It was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India at Hyderabad recently. So what you were saying, like, ki art and culture say, philosophy say, how they can frame questions. So Prime Minister visited this place. They asked question ki, which of the following statements correctly represents the teachings of Ramanuja? So we can connect with this. Then we have this. The Prime Minister recently inaugurated the Circuit House near Somnath. So this place is having some historical importance. They asked this question. So this way we can guess ki what kind of topics which are important for this year's paper. And you can come across this thing from newspaper only. So newspaper say anyone is making notes also? Anyone is making notes who are reading newspaper? So how you are making notes? Like every day, how many pages? 3 pages, 3 to 4. So every month, like 120, 100, 120 pages. 1 year. So what we are doing, we need to see ki can we revise these things? Or it may happen ki we are reading so many things, we are not revising that thing. That will be the sheer wastage of time. If we cannot put that thing in the examination. So you are going to, you have planned to read magazines also? So magazines and your own notes. So your own notes will keep, you will keep filtering on it. Okay, so that is the idea. So you are making notes. So every time you read and revise, you will find out that these informations are not required. So you will trim that note so that you are having one very crisp material in front of you before the prelims examination so that you can revise them. Otherwise, you will ask your friends कि तेरा current affairs अच्छा है मुझे दे दे. ऐसा हो सकता है, that may happen. or you will be focusing on PT 365 only. Ki I will read PT 365, that will get suffice for this examination. So what I would suggest, ki don't go for these things. Try to make your own notes and try to trim them. Initially you will get, like current affairs magazine, this is also a note made by someone, some team. In that team there are some members, they have prepared for UPSC, they have qualified prelims, mains, they are having very good experience, they are the one, they are making notes. So if you are having that idea ki you can also make notes, so that will be better. They are not preparing notes for themselves, they are preparing notes for you all. So in UPSC preparation, do not trust anyone more than yourself. So UPSC preparation में it is very important कि सुनो सबकी करो अपनी, but that must be an informed decision. ऐसा नहीं कि hunch पे कि I'm thinking कि यही होगा, इस बार मैं पॉलिटी नहीं पढ़ूंगा. So this must not be like this way. Read questions, see previous year papers, and then develop that idea. Then develop your that strategy. The same way, prelims, means. Means may what happens? If you see the questions, every question is having one-to-one mapping with the syllabus. So that exercise you can do on your own at your home. Like if you take 22 ka paper, 23 ka paper, you will get this idea that every question is coming from the syllabus only. Just there is a current affairs linkage. You will get this idea, you will get this feel. So whenever you are making notes, class mein modern Indian history is going on. So when modern Indian history is going on, try to see the syllabus and see ki how you are making notes. This is the first pointer. Second, third, fourth, this way. So we need to check ki what kind of notes we have written. Are we missing on any topic? वो miss नहीं होना चाहिए. Because if you see the questions like this way, explore and evaluate the impact of work from home on family relations. Which part of the syllabus set is linked? Society set is related. Salient features of Indian society, family is also part of it. So we can link, we can map one by one. Same, second question, tier 2 cities, rise of new middle class with the emphasis on the culture of consumption. Tier 2 cities, urbanization, say it is related. Then this, justify your answer. Tolerance, assimilation, pluralism, making of an Indian form of secularism. Secularism is there in the syllabus, secularism. So we can map each and every question from the syllabus itself. Mains mein, this is more prominent. UPSC is asking questions from the mains pointer, syllabus ke pointer se they are picking questions. And what UPSC is doing nowadays, like earlier, very simple, like 13 May when we started appearing for this test, UPSC exam, syllabus, the first time it came. So what UPSC did, first point, Indian culture. So modern Indian history from about the middle of the 18th century. So they ask questions, very simple question. Like secularism, what is secularism? Regionalism, what are different challenges? Communalism, challenges. So this way, very straightforward questions they asked. But nowadays, they are exhausted with this. So what they are doing? They are taking syllabus ka one pointer, clubbing with another pointer. Like globalization, paper 1, science and tech, technology, paper 3, they are clubbing and making one new question. So this way we need to see the trend. This year also, the same way UPSC is going to ask questions in mains exam. So we need to have a fair idea ki what is the trend of UPSC. Don't just see 13 ka paper, 14 ka, 15 ka. See the previous 4-5 years ka question paper. What you can do, go to your home and try to see last 2-3 years ka paper and try to link with the syllabus ke pointer. See what mapping you are getting. The same way pick science and tech, economy, polity ke prelims ke questions. and try to get this idea ki what kind of information they are asking. If you are getting this idea ki what kind of statements they are asking, what kind of information they are seeking, then only you will be able to read newspaper or read any material from reference books also. Then your reading will be refined. Otherwise you will read like earlier ki we are reading something and we are getting something out of it, but what you are getting is UPSC is asking that question, that information. We need to orient ourselves towards that demand which UPSC is asking question. So this way we can read things. So this is all about the question, the importance, how we can read different things because UPSC is asking questions this way. So अभी break लेते हैं 5-10 minutes का. After the break, we'll read yesterday's newspaper and we'll try to see which articles are important and in that article what we can get. ठीक है? Okay. So this PPT I will provide you. Just see it. This is for 22. Try to make the same thing for 23, 21, 20. Try to see how you can do these things, this mapping exercise, and how they are framing questions. What are the statements which are provided by UPSC? Then what are the things we can skip from the newspaper? Sports. So sports may UPSC is asking questions. So global events like Olympics, World Cups, they can ask questions. Olympics may cricket is included this year. I mean coming Olympics may. So UPSC can ask question ki what are the criterias on which this cricket got included in Olympics. And we can see about what are different other criterias also for different games. So this way UPSC can frame questions. What else? But this IPL, WPL, these things are Dream 11 चल रहा है किसी का? So Dream 11 में what you are doing? Making teams? And what are the chances for winning? 0%. Near 0%. So you can read about permutation and combination, what are different ways, CSAT में. So there you will get idea ki what is our probability, ki what are different combinations. You will get ki 22 players, उसमें अब impact players भी आ गए ना, तो so that they are also making our chances very weak. So sports news we can skip. What else? Entertainment. So entertainment, do we see any entertainment news in Indian Express and The Hindu? The Hindu and The Indian Express में क्या, are we getting some entertainment news? Advertisements. Advertisements so we can skip. So what else? Political news. What else? Yes. Crime. So we can say these things we can skip. States. What states? States news. We can skip. So we'll try to see what is important there. What else? Law and order cases में what can be the example? Theft, robbery, encounters. These things we can skip. What else? Yes, business completely. Business news. Solely private business news. These things we can skip. किस कंपनी का शेयर इज गोइंग अप, इसका गोइंग डाउन, इसने इसका शेयर खरीद लिया, उसका खरीद लिया. These things we can skip. What else? We can skip the articles, news, which are in transition. Which are in transition, we can skip. Different drafts, bills, like Israel-Palestine conflict is going on. So that is in transition. Every day we can see some news articles related to that. We can skip that. When, like in monthly magazines, we can refer to it. Ki what is happening? What was the background? What happened in that thing? And what can be the outcome? What is India's interest? These things we can see in the monthly current affairs magazines. We can skip these things. Correct? Then someone is asking ki PT 365, mains 365 versus monthly magazines, weekly, daily focus. So which we can prefer. So what do you think? If you're reading newspaper, every day you are reading news today, and weekly basis pay you are reading weekly focus, then monthly magazines, then PT 365, and before mains 365. So what is practical here? Whatever it is practical, we'll follow that. If you are reading news today every day, so if you are reading today's newspaper, yesterday's newspaper, so you can refer to news today, ki what kind of information they have put in that article. Try to link it with your reading. But you will come across this thing, ki news today may, they are putting some articles which are not there in the newspaper. Ki PIB say they are quoting, or some other sources say they are quoting some articles. So you will get this idea ki yaar, these articles were not in the newspaper, but they are in the news today. So these are important. So it's your own decision कि कैसे करना है. If you are reading news today every day, 365 days, news today how many pages? 3 to 4 pages. 3 to 4 होता है ना, ऐसा ही. 3 to 4, that means every month you are getting 150 pages, and then you are reading monthly current affairs magazines also. So what I could suggest, ki pick anyone. If you are reading news today, make a compilation of it and try to read and revise several times. Or you can pick monthly current affairs magazine, read it, revise it, and try to see monthly current affairs magazines. If you see, you will come across this idea ki only 20 to 30% is current affairs. Remaining are static part. So you need to identify that also. Static part, you need to read from your reference material, reference books, your notes. Wahin se you need to read about static part. Whatever the static part which is given in the current affairs magazine, you just cross it. If they are providing some extra information which is not there in your reference book or in your notes, then try to mark it ki okay, I will read it and I will club this information with our parent notes. And the same way, like if you are making notes of history, polity, economy, any subject, keep a margin and try to write current affairs there itself in your parent notes, so that you will be having one compact notebook where you are having static part also as well as current affairs also. Otherwise you will be reading static parts alone, then you are reading your current affairs part from the magazines. Correct. We'll try to see the newspaper. How many of you have read this newspaper, yesterday's newspaper? So first thing we need to find out ki which articles are important for UPSC. So we'll see the newspaper the way we see the question papers, ki what are different questions UPSC has asked. So we'll see the newspaper which articles are important and which part of the syllabus say this article is linked. Then only we can establish this thing कि this article is important. So this way we'll mark the whole newspaper may will mark 7-8 articles, and then we are going to start with the one article which is the most important article. Sometimes and many times, most of the times it happens कि editorial say the most important news article we see. Like this, first the lead article, jobs, inflation, key issues in LS polls, finds survey. Is this article important? Why it is not important? But this survey is talking about jobs, inflation. But the data is, can we quote this data in our answers? Yes. So first we need to check ki who is doing this survey. Then we can say ki it is a reliable source or not. This is a survey which is done by CSDS, I guess. So this is not a government organization. So we can say ki cons में if we are writing, there we can just quote it. Ki some private organizations, they surveyed and they got this data. Otherwise, this article is not having any importance. We can simply skip this article. Then this article. So Kejriwal's issue, it is like the news in transition. We need to see ki what is the case here, what happened. One sitting CM is arrested. This happened for the first time. First time I think Jayalalitha wala case tha, but there she said ki someone else will be running the CM post. But here CM Kejriwal is arrested, but still he is running the office from the jail. So we'll try to see in which case the CM got arrested and why the CM is not getting bail. PMLA will try to find out ki what is this, what are different laws about it, but nothing we are going to get in this article. This article we can simply skip. Then this Supreme Court declines apology by Ramdev Patanjali. Is this important? Supreme Court is there. So it becomes important. So we'll try to see ki what is the case here. It can be a case study. We can quote in paper 4. So we'll try to see it is related to advertisement. Then one term is there, FMCG. What is this? Fast moving consumer goods. We'll try to see ki what is it. UPSC can ask question on this. So what is it? We're not getting this idea from this article. Can we Google it? So when we are reading newspaper, are you Googling for some information? So if you Google too much, then you are going to devote more time for completing the entire newspaper. So we need to refrain from this Googling thing, but still some articles, some keywords are there for which we want key what is it? We'll Google it. So what is it? Anyone has Googled it? Yes? So you are saying ki they're not durable goods, non-durable goods. Correct, correct, correct. Yes. Ethical issues are there. Yes, yes, correct. Yes, yes. That is why I'm saying ki it can be used as a case study in ethics paper. So what is this FMCG? What you said, ki non-durable goods, which are frequently bought in the market and they are having low cost. बड़े सस्ते दाम में they are available. Correct. This is basically it. Then we'll try to see next article. This patently illegal. Is this article important? First, IPR. IPR के बारे में it is written. It is connected. How it is patent? It is there. That is why you are saying it is related to IPR issues. This article is important for this thing. Article 142. Article 142, and one term is there, curative petition. For this article is important. So what is Article 142? What is curative petition? So UPSC can ask question on this, curative petition. So they can ask about a review petition. They can ask about mercy petition. So what are the differences between them? What are different articles? What are different articles for it? Like 142. So with this article, we'll get this idea about curative petition. So what is it? We'll take a note of it. Which article is mentioned? Article 142. Which case is there? DMRC say related, it is the case. So from this authority, this power, Supreme Court has come up with some judgment. Static part may, when we are going to read about this curative petition, review petition, mercy petition, there we are going to get more idea about what is it and what are the differences between them, when Supreme Court can use it. Mercy petition के बारे में anyone has heard? Mercy petition is by president only, governor also. So you will read about these things in the static part. But this article is important because of this article 142 ka mention. Whenever articles are mentioned, we'll read that article ki what they are saying. Why? Because it is going to an important topic for UPSC. UPSC can ask some question. The Hindu is same. You say that IE and the Hindu is same, but you not take example of IE, Indian Express. So Indian Express and the Hindu may, what you can see, the same articles are coming. If yesterday this article is not there in the Indian Express, the next day this article will come in Indian Express. So what they do, like Indian Express, they also see what is coming in the Hindu paper. So the next day, if they found that article was very important, but we have not put a column on that article. So what they will do, next day, they will put that article in that paper. So you will come across this thing. News articles are same. Be it any newspaper, Times of India, maybe these articles can come in some day. So pick any newspaper, Indian Express or the Hindu. How many are reading Indian Express? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So most of you following the Hindu. So why, how you came to this idea कि I will follow the Indian Express or the Hindu? The Indian Express may the same thing happens. The Indian Express may be the same thing happens. Pro, cons. We'll get both the views in Indian Express also. But what happens? It looks bulky. Indian Express may more number of pages are there. More advertisements. Nothing it. Like the Hindu may what happens, some may feel that the language is difficult. The Indian Express may the language is comparatively not so difficult. These 2-3 things are there, but coverage is like same. Coverage is like same. You're not going to miss on anything. So this article, paper 2 से related है. Then, so we have found out ki 2 articles which we can read. Then states, is this article important? Is this important? Sandesh Khali. This is also a news in transition. So many news articles about it, but nothing like this news is important. Whenever I'm saying this is not important, I'm saying कि UPSC के लिए it is not important. That news may be important, but for UPSC it is not important. This way I'm saying. ऐसे नहीं लेना है कि ये news it is about India, it is about integrity of India or something, and I'm saying it is not important. So that does not mean not important for UPSC point of view. Resentment, Congress, not important. Then Bhojpuri singer, very important news. This, not important. Then this news, CAA rules notified Muslim citizens in Mumbai are rushing to get their documents in order. Is this important? Sorry? Yes, this is also in transition. So we can skip this. CAA related news are in transition. So we'll skip the news which are in transition. Otherwise, CAA is related to which paper? Which part? Polity. Paper 2. This. PMLA trial against Lottery King. When we see this news, we'll tempt कि यार पढ़ लेते हैं. What is it? Lottery King. Supreme Court is there, ED is there. So can this news be important? Somewhat important. So where we can use this information? Whenever this way only we are making our opinion कि which news article is important. Ethics, integrity and aptitude. How? To quote examples where it will be according to the question. So interview panel may they ask this way questions. So whenever they are asking one question, provide a comprehensive answer. Otherwise, they will pick point the keywords, the questions where you are not feeling confident, they will ask questions again and again. So we need to stop. That is why we say ki if interview board members they are asking some question and we don't have very good idea about that, so what we say, sorry sir, I will read about it. I don't know much about it. If you allow me, then I can provide something about it. So they will say, okay, okay. तब खुश हो जाएंगे. अच्छा चलो ठीक है बता दे भाई. So this news may PMLA. This is important, but this is individual law and order case. So we don't have much substance in this article. Correct? We are going to read about this PMLA case. What is this PMLA law? Act. This act के बारे में we need to know. इसमें there is one thing, that is why Kejriwal is also there behind the bars, because if someone has done and police has registered some case, so they have to provide proofs that they are not guilty. Otherwise, this responsibility is towards the agencies. But here, the responsibility is towards the person. So that is why this is very important thing. But this news we are not going to get anything. Electoral bonds से related issue है. So electoral bonds, PMLA, these things are topics which are in transition, which we can simply skip it. This thing. What is it? So this is council ne something what they have said. I am above everybody. So Copyright Act is mentioned there, but this is the case of individual is involved here. So we can skip this article. What happens ki sometimes we see some articles, some acts, some organizations, we tend to feel कि this article can be important. तो ये temptation थोड़ी सी कम करनी है. Otherwise, we are going to devote more time in reading and completing newspaper. Only 6, 7, 8, hardly 10 articles we can say are important for UPSC. And those many articles only we can retain. If we are reading more articles, like 15 articles every day, so 15 के 15 जाएंगे, कुछ नहीं बचेगा दिमाग में. So we need to limit ourselves. Then this BJP Congress, memory card, not important. Vote, not important. Heights of devotion. So here something is important. So this ritual के बारे में they can ask question. Art and culture. So we'll read this. Many times these photographs say UPSC has asked questions. But if we are reading this, and this is going to come in the next year's paper, the same photo. One time it is coming in the newspaper, and after 365 days, are we going to remember this? But still, we'll try to read. Sometimes it may strike in the examination hall also, or it can come in the monthly current affairs magazine, so we can revise them. See this? Is this important? Only this is the news. This is as an example we can quote it. This dangerous dogs. कितनी अच्छी फोटो भी है. We can read this article. We'll try to see what is there in this, because we are also affected with this. Affected नहीं है कोई? नहीं. तब भी for the sake of others, we'll try to read this. We'll get what information they are saying. If this information, this article is important, which part of the syllabus it is linked? Yes, we can say this. Key center state relation. Karnataka High Court quashes center's circular banning 23 breeds. अब हाई कोर्ट ने क्यों बैन किया? State government might have gone to high court to see what is happening, what center is ordering us. So there should be a consensus building about any circular if they are passing through across the country. So there must be a consensus. So we can quote this example. We'll try to see what is there. Like we have Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 or the Animal Birth Control ABC rules. Two rules are there, but nothing is provided in this. What are the features of these rules? We will not get any idea about this. One PIL petitioner for banning certain dog breeds for hearing all the stakeholders. So here also center-state relation is not coming. PIL was filed. State ने कुछ नहीं बोला. PIL was filed. So we need to know what is PIL. Then only we'll get this idea. So what is happening nowadays, like for next 1 or 2 months or 3 months we can say, or 4 months, you will come across so many terms, so many terminologies which you don't know, because polity has not started, economy is not started. So many articles you will miss. You will not get a good understanding ki what they are saying. So do not Google. Google नहीं करना है, otherwise after googling it, what may happen, you are getting some wrong information. Wikipedia से उठाया और वो हो गया गलत information. And that the same thing is in your notes also, and you are revising the same notes before prelims examination, and you are going to mark a correct statement go incorrect. So this may happen. Then next, editorials are very important. These two articles are basically the viewpoint of newspaper, and other articles are views of some other authors. So this Pandora's box, is this important article? Is this important? Which part of the syllabus? Paper 2, elections, electoral bonds, topic in transition, but we'll try to see ki what is there. More revelations from the electoral bonds necessitate a thorough investigation. So we'll try to see ki what is there in that article. If you are reading this article, so the way they are starting this article, the way they are putting points, and the way they are concluding this article. This is also providing us as well as the information and also the art of answer writing. यहाँ से we can develop our art of answer writing. How we are starting any answer, what pointers we are putting in the body, and how we are concluding this. So this topic is related to electoral bonds, but इसमें the pointers which are provided by this article is in transition. Like yesterday also, the day before yesterday also, the same pointers they are providing. So electoral bonds say related some issues are coming. We can simply read them, just a thorough reading, just that. Then this article, Kacha thi wo, demands thinking outside the box. Is this article important? First question is this. Which part of the syllabus? IR say it is related. So this article we are going to read ki what is there in this article. So what question ka answer will we having after reading this article? Anyone has read this article? Yes. So if you read this article, what kind of information you got? So when you are reading this article, so this island के बारे में this article is, so there are some challenges, some issues. So we'll find out ki what are the challenges, what is the issue here. First thing, then second thing, ki what government is doing, presently what is happening. इसमें we'll also try to see the background, ki why this became an issue. Then the third question, what can be done. Three question के answer we need to have from this article. If we read this article, we'll try to see कि what is the historical background, what happened before independence, after independence, and now, what is the historical background. Then we'll try to see कि what is the present context, what is happening. Something has happened, that is why this is the issue. It is related to fishermen. It is related to fishermen. So what is happening with the fishermen? Sri Lanka and India. We need to look for the map also. Ki Sri Lanka, India, where is this island and what is happening right now. This is the island. So where this island is located, it is under Sri Lanka or in India? Sorry, this news is also in transition, but this is coming in this editorial. So editorial mate is coming, that means we are going to get some idea, some very good idea, and this author is providing us a thorough understanding about this. Ki what happened, what is the background, and what can be done, one solution. If this article is coming other than editorial, we can skip. Why? Because they will provide some instances ki this happened. Ki Indian Navy, Indian Coast Guards, they have arrested some fishermen from Sri Lanka. News article will be this only. या फिर श्रीलंका वालों ने अरेस्ट किया इंडियन फिशरमैन को. The news will be this only. That we can skip. But this is about analysis. So we'll try to read ki what is the analysis, what is the historical background, then what is the current issue, then what can be the way forward for this. So in this article, 3 question ke answer we need to have. Try to read this article and see ki are we getting these 3 questions ke answer. Then we'll try to summarize it. Ki what is this issue? What is the background? 1, 2, 3 pointers. Before independence, after independence, and what is current situation. 3 pointers. Then current issue, some arrests. Then what the government is doing, state government, central government, what they have done so far. And then what can be done further. Here they have quoted Beriburi union wala case, ki how they have solved that problem. What happened there, Beriburi mein? So this article has explained this. Then what can be the way forward here in this case? कि लीज पे ले सकते हैं. They can allow 7 day alternate days पे Sri Lankan will be fishing, and after like 3 day, 3 day Indians, 3 day Sri Lankans, and 1 day holiday. So this was the solution. So this way 2-3 solutions were provided, and solution provide करने के बाद भी they have given कि what can be the challenges for that. So this way this article we can summarize in 10 pointers. 10 pointers. 10 pointers may, if we are able to summarize this article, then only we can get this idea ki what is there in this article. So first read this article, try to ask questions, then summarize them. Good article. And this trawling, introduction of trawling, another important points needs to be highlighted about this. एक present scenario में they have this problem, deep fishing. This is also a problem which is highlighted कि what is the current में this is the problem कि Indian के पास है, श्रीलंका में it is banned. So वो भी सोच रहे हैं कि यार तुम सारी मछलियां लेके चले जा रहे हो, हमारे पास क्या बचेगा. Then this article, the advent of a holistic approach to One Health. Is this article important? Which part of the syllabus? Health. Health can come in economy also, paper 2 also, social justice, paper 1 also, essay also. So health is a very important topic. This article is important. They are asking, they have written this about One Health. So first thing from this article, we'll try to understand what is this One Health notion. Second thing, what is the current standing? Is this a policy which we are following or in the formation phase? Then third question, what are the features of it? Fourth, what can be the challenges? Fifth, if we are able to write about challenges, तो उन challenges को overcome कर लो, that becomes way forward. This is the entire questioning. We have question now. These are the questions we need answers. We'll try to find out the answers. We'll see what answer they have provided in this article. So what is this One Health? From the very first statement, you can get this idea. कि humans, animals, environment, सबकी health important. This is One Health. And why there is a need? Because of this COVID condition. Then it is being said that the recent decision on the National One Health Mission by the Cabinet marks a milestone. So recently it is decided that we are going to formalize this National One Health Mission. Cabinet ने clear कर दिया. You might be having this question कि what is this cabinet? ये भी question आ रहा होगा. Polity तो अभी पढ़ा नहीं है. We don't know what is cabinet, what is council of ministers, है ना? So we'll stick to that कि चलो ठीक है, मतलब government is doing something. then ki prime minister, then what happened ki different departments, ministry are involved in it. This is given. So after then, more a journey, then it is written about ki what can be done with this one health policy. So what author has written here कि we need to be doing something and learning out of it. यहाँ पे outcome के बारे में nothing is mentioned कि what will be the outcome, what will be the output. More a journey. That means they are going towards some places. So in that journey, they will identify different problems. This is the core thing what they have mentioned here. Then a network of labs. In this mission, there will be a requirement for a network of labs. Basically, features के बारे में it is written. Then a global subject. Then the importance of this one health policy is mentioned here. कि why this one health policy is important, because it has become a global subject, because health does not have any boundaries. Because of COVID conditions, we have seen this कि China से शुरू हुआ and it spread across the globe. Then it has also mentioned this कि G20 में it is also mentioned and it got appreciation from other nations. यहीं पे this article is finished. So what kind of questions के answers we are getting from this article? कि what is this? Why there is a need for this one health policy, and what are different features? May we got some features, and it is written कि it is more of a journey. So features are not specifically mentioned right now, but network of labs की बात they have mentioned. So this we can mention, and can mention कि some more features can come during the coming time. Then how significant this one health mission is, we can quote here. G20 declaration. G20 में how they have signified it. But what answers we are not getting here? कि what challenges it can face and what can be the way forward. So it may happen कि in coming few days some articles can come कि what can be the challenges for one health mission. Because this article is written by the principal scientific advisor to the government of India. तो अब if some other article is coming कि previous principal scientific advisor या to be principal scientific advisor, so they will write कि see I know more about it, there can be some challenges. So this way some articles we can see in the future for remaining 2-3 questions के answers के लिए. But we are getting this information from this article. Then this article, crowded field, Maharashtra politics will leave. This is about CSDS, the lead article say related. This article is, we can simply skip this. And till elections and even after elections also, more articles will be related to political news only. So very few articles will find that this is important for UPSC. Again, this CSDS Lokniti pre-poll survey. This is also related to that. Then this, any news article which is important here? Article 360 is there, but what is written? So we can skip. Election 2024, फटाफट इसको skip कर सकते हैं. Then see this. So how many articles till now we have read which are important for UPSC? 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. 4 articles. Now this article, Not important. This Congress is saying something, BJP is saying something, some political parties they are saying something that is not important for UPSC point of view. Voters के लिए it is important. This DGCA, it is related to organize. So economy में some like organizations like SEBI, RBI, if they are saying something, they are coming up with new rules, regulations, that becomes important. So we'll read this article, but will not find anything. क्या है? Revised rules earlier said to be implemented on June 1. So timeline for new flight duty norms. कितने टाइम के लिए फ्लाई कर सकते हो पायलट्स के लिए कि 8 आवर्स 12 आवर्स 16 आवर्स एक फ्लाइट के बाद कितने टाइम के लिए उन्हें रेस्ट करना है दीज टाइप ऑफ नॉर्म्स. तो बेसिकली वी कैन सिंपली सी, पूछना तो नहीं है इसके बारे में यूपीएससी ने, बट स्टिल विल रीड दिस आर्टिकल कि नींद ना जाए उड़ाते उड़ाते. इंडिया टू सेंड न्यू डिफेंस attaches to several missions in Africa. Is this important? Why it is important? Which part of the syllabus? It is related to IR. So what kind of information we can seek from this article? Strategic relation. So India, Africa. Africa is very important for India because China is there. China is investing a lot. Resources, yes. So this article is important. We'll try to see. We're not going to get more information, but we'll try to see, we'll get this idea that India is in Africa. India is doing something in Africa. India is challenging China. How India's strategy is different. So if we are reading this way, some more articles will get this idea. What is the stance of India? How India is investing in Africa? What kind of motive is there? After crude oil, it's Russian diamonds. Is this important? No, is not important. Why? If not important, why it is not important? Important के लिए we have so many things. We can say कि sir this term is there. That is why it is important. India, Russia is there. IR, bilateral relations, it is important. So we'll try to see ki what is this. After crude oil, so we need to have this idea. We have started reading newspaper from today. And they are writing this way ki after crude oil. So we'll ask question ki what happened with the crude oil? Then what is happening with the Russian diamonds? Who is importing, who is exporting Russian diamonds? That means Russia is exporting that diamond. Who is getting that diamond? Who is importing that diamond? India is. So some problems are there, some sanctions are there. So why these sanctions? Because of this war. So they want to cut their economy. So that is why these sanctions are there for Russia. So we'll try to see what is India's stand, what is India's interest, why India is wanting to trade more with Russia. So if India is doing this, what will happen with India and European Union relations, India-USA relations? So these things, multi-dimensional things are there. We'll read this, we'll get some idea. If we are not getting any idea, just leave this. कि चलो बाद में समझ में आएगा कि what is happening with India and Russia, we can get some concrete notes on it. Then this management studies, JNU ranked India's top university. Is this important? Education sector. Literacy rate. JNU ranked India's top university. So literacy rate, say how it is related. In education sector में we can quote some universities are coming in world's top 25 for management, and JNU is ranked India's top university. Just this idea, this news is important. But one line is important, nothing more than that. That who published it? Who published it? That is also important. Sometimes every year UPSC is asking this way, कि this report is published by which organization. So this way, like World Bank, IMF, ILO, so they are publishing many reports, and UPSC is asking this way कि this report is published by whom. अब इकोनॉमी से रिलेटेड है, विल थिंक कि वर्ल्ड बैंक, IMF, दोनों में से किसी ने हो सकता है कराओ. Sometimes we'll see some reports, it is related to unemployment. So we'll think कि ILO, International Labour Organization, इसने करा होगा. But sometimes it may happen कि World Bank नहीं करा है. So we need to see these जो international organizations है, what reports they publish. And UPSC has not asked this way कि what is India's ranking, but in one or two questions they have asked this way कि India is having this rank in one statement. And second statement में this report is published by this organization. But mostly UPSC is asking कि this report is published by whom? Science. If there is a theory of AI, computer science is unlikely to provide it. Is this important article? AI say it is related, science and tech, but most importantly, it is important for, we can say, essay. Essay में they can, this is an example of essay. Essay में they can ask questions. So we are having some fodders. So we need to read this. We'll try to find out कि what is there in this article. AI से related some movies भी देखा होगा आप लोगों ने कि how AI is conquering the world. अर्थ पे AI की हुकूमत आ गई. So this way, any movie? मैट्रिक्स देखा है किसी ने? तो उसमें AI का रोल था कुछ? So Matrix is very difficult movie to understand. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, but AI का role is there. The supreme God. So we'll try to see this article. इसमें से UPSC cannot ask any question, we can say concretely, but essay में we can write some fodder points. Then hottest march in history. So every year it is happening, and every day we'll get this. This day is the hottest. This day is the hottest. So the reason behind it is the climate change, global warming. This is the reason. So we'll try to see the same pointers they are writing every day. So we'll read that. This text and context. The same way, Indian Express may what they provide? Explained. So Indian Express, they started first this explained wala part. Then the Hindu walon ne copy kiya. They came up with this text and context. This is basically UPSC se related page. So on unemployment in Indian states, is this important? So we'll try to see ki kiska data they have taken. ILO and the Institute for Human Development. So we'll try to read this article and we'll see the findings. And in this, we'll get these 3 pointers. Many a times, we can see key text and context mein the gist is only important thing. So if we are not reading the entire article, we can just see ki what is there in the gist. 3 points. This is the summary of this article. This is the summary which we can use in our mains answers. See this? Is this important? For a case study, we can see it. Otherwise, not important. Urban Naxals, moist terrorist. Business news. So what do you think the most difficult part in the newspaper? Do you see it ki business part? Or you are able to understand ki what is written there? समझ में आ जाता है? नहीं? Most of the business news articles we can skip. Like this way. Q4 GDP growth may throw a surprise. Is this article important? So क्या हो रहा है Q4 में, Q3 में, Q1 में? That is not important. It will keep changing. It will keep change. So this we can skip, and this, yes, it is important for some persons. जैसे किसी को घूमने जाना है यूएस, तो व्हाट इज द रेट, देन किसी को इन्वेस्ट करना है, उनके लिए इट इज important. This newspaper is too different. I am also reading tomorrow's newspaper, yesterday newspaper. This is yesterday's newspaper, and this is international edition. So there may be some changes. International edition hai online, it is available, but it is different from the city news like Delhi edition and other editions. थोड़ा सा difference होता है, but articles will come. आजकल में आ जाएंगे articles. Now this Sensex, not important. Tata Motors, individual businesses, not important. Is this important? Nifty, Sensex, what they are doing, not important. What important is what is it? What is Nifty? What is Sensex? How they work? This is important. But nothing we can get from these news articles. So we can simply skip. Then this, seeing rise in cards, MSME, unsecured loans, delinquencies. Is this important? This is somewhat importance. We can say कि they are having some importance. We can read these articles. Why? बहुत सारे cards issue हो रहे हैं. What is happening? कि people are getting loans very simply. So defaults के cases can be more in future. So the same information they have written. So we'll read that article simply, just this information. Then equity, small caps, lost, not important. Then this Finland's elevator major cone, not important. Post poll, smart nutrition hub makeover. Is this important? So economics पे mostly we see if some policy related news are there, those are important. Otherwise these news are not important. We can simply skip these news articles. See this? Federal Reserve's rate cut confidence wobbles as inflation data misbehaves. Is this important? So whatever is happening with US Fed Bank, that is important for the whole economy. So whenever some news is coming related to Fed reserves, so how they are linked with the entire economy of the globe. We'll try to read that article. But UPSC will ask questions this way, the conceptual based question. If Fed reserves, they are increasing their interest rate, how it is going to affect Indian market. So this way, if we know this concept, inflation wala concept, bank rate wala concept, then only we'll get this idea कि what is happening in Fed Bank. Fed Bank में कैसे interest rate ऊपर नीचे करेंगे, what will happen to Indian market, what will happen to global market. So economy में you are going to understand all these things कि dollars के rate ऊपर नीचे कैसे हो रहे हैं, dollar rupee exchange rate, what is the mechanism, everything you are going to understand in the classes. But if you're not getting this idea, just skip this news article. Try to read. If you're not getting the idea, just skip it. See this, China's EV export. Is it important? How it is important? So EV is a very important thing in current day. So EV say related some news is coming, we can read them. In this news article, we'll see कि China's EV export boom fuels surge in demand for the new car carrying ships. Just इतना ही news है. Just this is the news. Nothing to read from here. बस यही news है. और इससे कुछ मिल नहीं सकता हमें. अब इसमें इंडिया चाइना एंगल भी नहीं है. This news is solely about China, what China is doing. Then this US electric utilities brace for surge in data centers power needs. Is this important? इसमें one situation is mentioned, which is there in USA. If it is affecting India's interest, then we can read this article, otherwise we can skip this article. So we can simply skip this article. Then the world affairs, this. So Israel Palestine, the this news in transition, so we can simply skip this. Then Iran Israel, this is also in transition, we can skip this. So whenever we are reading world affairs, we need to see the maps. Maps may we need to locate these things. Ki Israel, where is Iran, where is Syria? So then only we can understand the geopolitics, ki what is happening around. Kahan pe their borders are there. These things we can understand. And we can also see the neighboring areas mein kaun sa sea hai, kaun sa river hai. These things UPSC can ask. So everyday exercise, mapping exercise is everyday exercise. You cannot do this just before the exam. This article, with eyes on China, US and Japan, wo news security collaboration. Is this important? Just this is the news. अंदर वही लिखा हुआ है, just explained it. UN climate chief says next 2 years are essential in saving our planet. Again the same news which was there in the hottest March. It is related to climate change. We'll read this article. We'll read this article ki what they are saying. इन्होंने कुछ बोला है. They might be having some concrete data or some understanding about it. So we'll read this article. Then this crosswords and Sudoku. Sudoku is very important for mental exercise के लिए. ये काफ़ी अच्छा है. Every day करना चाहिए. लेकिन difficulty rating इसकी तो बहुत ज़्यादा है. ये तो होगा ही नहीं. So we need to wait for the next day. Again, major religions adopt varying stance over inclusion of transgender people. This can be a case study for paper 4. हो सकता है? So we'll read this article ki what is happening around the world. How many genders are there nowadays in India? 3. And in US? 72 plus. So these things are global news. So we need to follow कि what is happening around the world. अब यहाँ पे सिर्फ ट्रांसजेंडर्स की बात हुई है, so we'll try to read कि what is the religious angle in it. Just for the information. इसमें से just 1 or 2 pointers we can have. Not important. This article. So this article is important, related to science and tech. So we'll read this article. इसमें physicist Peter Higgs के बारे में it is written. So we'll try to see and find out कि any new keyword they have mentioned here. If there is any keyword, we'll mark them. We'll mark them. Sports आते ही लगता है कि अब we are done. But sports में we devote some time कि what happened. Any important news? So anyone who is having their hobby as sports, so they can read, they can follow these sports articles, these news articles. But sports say they will ask questions in interviews only. If it is your hobby, playing cricket, watching cricket, this way hobbies are there. कुछ हॉबी नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो ये तो लिख ही दो, प्लेइंग क्रिकेट या वॉचिंग क्रिकेट लिख दो, आईपीएल तो सभी देखते हैं. So what you can do, like you have read this newspaper, found out ki 7-8 articles which were important for UPSC, and if you are making notes, it is okay. if you feel ki I want to make notes but it is killing our much of time, so what you can do, you can simply write the headings, like 7 8 articles. The headings you can write in your diary ki these articles for this date, these articles are important for UPSC point of view. 6 7 articles, next day also 6 7 articles, 8 articles, 5 articles. This way you write down these just headings only for 1 month, and that month ki magazine will come in next month. You can compare these articles with that magazine mein there will be some articles, so you can compare ki how many articles are mentioned in the magazine. तो जो भी notes बनाओगे, that notes is there in that magazine, but you will find out ki some articles which I have marked ki it is important, but that article is not mentioned in the magazine. So you can simply pick those articles, just Google it, you will get the first news. The Hindu से पढ़ा है तो The Hindu वाला news, that article will come. Make some A4 sheet papers, उसमें try to write down कि what information we can have from those articles, because those are important, because I have marked. Then try to test also, try to see कि what is the linkage with the syllabus and how previous year questions are framed. Then you can add those A4 sheet papers in your monthly current affairs magazine. So that month ka, like this is April. So April ka current affairs is completed. So you don't need to go for again ki some other news magazines which are published by some other coachings or something. वहां से उठा के देख लेते हैं कौन कौन सा आर्टिकल मिस हो रहा है. So your 1 month का current affairs is completed. So this way you can go for this newspaper thing. If you are making notes, like some person, if they are making some notes, try to make crisp notes. Initially you will find out कि one article के लिए you are writing 1 page, but after some time you will get this idea कि you need to cut down, you need to filter out some information. So after some day cut it down, make it like 1 day के लिए 1 page, not more than 1 page. If you are making notes from the newspaper, 1 day 1 page, yes. ठीक है, one nation one health card, one nation one election. So this way make this exercise for every day and you will see. But the best thing is ki try to do that mapping exercise for a prelims question, for mains question, so that you will get that idea ki what is important and how we can read any article. ठीक है, तो यहीं पे we are concluding this session. कोई question है तो you can ask. ठीक है. हाँ. See, online notes you can make, but what happens, do this exercise of writing on books like notebook. What happens कि like अब iPad पे if we write, pressure बहुत कम आता है. So if you start writing on that pages, you have to put extra pressure, तो आपकी speed बहुत ज़्यादा affect होगी. Correct, correct. So online note making is better than this offline thing. Online note, हाँ, but writing part के लिए you need to practice that thing. So write assignment every day. तो वो भी चीज हो रही है, and you are making notes on this also. You can take a printout of it, or you can read from the iPad also. ठीक है. See, Kurukshetra and Yojana, they are not like current affairs. They publish things like themes पे. Like women empowerment is a theme. They pick one theme, women empowerment. So they are publishing many articles related to women empowerment, different schemes and different sectors. So that is not basically current affairs. That is basically the static part, but linked with the current affairs. So what you can do, you can skip, or what you can do, कि कुछ आर्टिकल्स which you feel कि it is important. What happens कि monthly current affairs magazines में what they do, योजना कुरुक्षेत्रा से they pick articles and they keep them in the monthly current affairs magazines. all of it is important, but they provide lots of information. So how to read them, what you can do, some edition are important, like this edition is important. So what you can do not miss the information which are there in the boxes. तो boxes में बड़ी concrete crisp information they provide, but ऐसे पूरा आर्टिकल पढ़ोगे that is like an essay. तो boxes वाली information तो जरूर लिख लेना है, वो important है. But what will happen कि after 2-3 months you will not get time. You will not get time to complete